1% of dudes rapping, they ain't nice as me. 98% ain't live the same type of life as me. The judge gave me life and then they sent me where the life is be. That level 4 with depth and vice, the type of stuff they like to see. Two choices, fight or flee. I refuse to die a chump. I never been a mark, but damn, it's scary when that riot jump. I seen dudes cry, get pumped, and some sexually brutalized. Knew a dude who lost his life and he was only doing 5 year-long racial fights when homie all you do is ride. Lonely days and nights up in a hole causing suicide. From the moment you arrive, you see the Mexican mafia, AB skinheads with big giant swastikas, pro-black philosophers, the BGF, the Kumi, and Muslims who will murk you from the nation to the Sunni. That MS was loony, quick to ride up on they rival. Even Christians went to church, hide knives up in a Bible. Political and tribal, the Crips and Damus, the Long Beach, the Hubs and the Dubs and the Grooves, the IE, the Bakersfield, the Dago Pyrus, the Hustlers quick to roll, the gangsters don't move. Whatever click you choose, you better. What's cracking, YouTube? It's your boy 16 to life, and I'm back like I'm on a pro violation. Yard down. Now today I'm gonna be doing a reaction to that prison guard. He's doing a story about where a couple of days ago you had the Southsiders rush the basically the administration, the staff, the COs in a prison known as Ironwood. I've done a lot of time in Ironwood, about 6 years. But anyway, let's hop right up into this reaction.
Yesterday at approximately 10:07 a.m. What yard was that? Delta Yard, D Yard, Ironwood. I never been to Ironwood. It's the same setup as Sentinella, I could assume. GP level 3, general population. Normal program at the time. Yeah, the inmates out to the yard. ISU was conducting searches. All right, they were conducting searches of a cell. They do that from time to time. They'll get the dogs, fucking go hit a pad. They got information, right? I'll keep it real, motherfuckers. So they just want to unite and ride as one and beat everybody up. The way they get information is by their competition on the yard, right? Maybe another Sureño will say, hey, go check cell 123. That's dope, right? Good. The motherfucker gets rolled up off the yard. Now this guy has a key player. What, they be doing that? Of course they be doing that, right? There's no honor amongst thieves. Here we go. They may or may not have found something, apparently, in the inmate's cell that they were searching. They place the inmate in handcuffs, right? For whatever reason. I'm a former lieutenant, so I know how the process goes. They usually find something or they want to do further questioning of the inmate. They'll put him in handcuffs and they'll escort him to either the back of ISU, the goon squad, and they'll...
Now, when he's saying ISU, for those of you who may not be familiar with that term, ISU is basically like the FBI of the prison. It's I believe it stands for Investigative Service Unit, and they investigate the more serious things that's going on in prison, like drugs, stabbings, you know, stuff like that. So anyway, let's go back.
Sit him down and interrogate him, interview him. I said interrogate, interview him. Hey man, what's going on? Nothing. I don't know. What's going on here? I don't know. Right? They don't ever really talk. Or they might have found a weapon. Guess what? A weapon, I think, hopefully still is a shoeable offense where you go to the hole, restricted housing, don't get mistermed. It might not even be. Either way, dude got put in cuffs, was apparently getting escorted. Allegedly, right? I say allegedly because I wasn't there. This is what I've been told. Allegedly, the inmate started resisting. All right, well, if an inmate resists during an escort, what does that look like, Hector, if he was in fact? The inmate's he's handcuffed, he's walking behind his back. You got the officers holding his bicep. You can feel these dudes' biceps flexing, right? They're not happy. They're not happy that they're being in handcuffs. They're showing off for their friends, right? I've already said this in numerous episodes of mine. I started my career in Charlie Gym. So nothing but Sureños in there. They become emboldened when there's a lot of them. When you isolate them by themselves, it's a different story. That's a true story. So the dude, I wasn't there, could have been flexing his arm. One of these little things of an inmate does this. That's a wrap, man. That's a wrap. He's going to get slammed to the ground. Okay, and you can imagine what that looks like. They might even put a leg, like in the cartoons, a leg in front, like a sweeping motion, and just use that dude's momentum and just drill him to the dirt, face first. Boom, right?
That's definitely a tactic they will sometimes employ. You know, that happened to me one time. I was at Corcoran. I was being investigated for a stabbing. And so the CO tells me, okay, you're going to the hole. So I'm in the medical office. At the time when I come out the medical office, the hole is to the left. So he comes back a few minutes later. He comes, gets me. And so now, like I said, once again, I think I'm going to the hole, which is to the left. I guess the lieutenant had told him we'll bring him down to my office. So when I exit the medical office, I turn slightly to the left. And like I said, I'm handcuffed. The CO jerks me to the right. I said, hey, man, what are you doing? You know, so we go to tussling. He puts his foot in front of me. He tries to slam me. Now, initially, I spot what he's doing. So when he puts his foot in front of me to take my balance away, I step my foot outside of his foot. But he does the maneuver again. Like I said, I'm in handcuffs. He slams me to the ground, bam, on the hard cement. So, of course, that's going to make a person upset. You know, you're handcuffed. Your hands are cuffed behind your back. You have no way to break your fall. You're going to land on your face, your knees, your chest. So it's definitely a jacked up situation. And if you got some homies that's watching, they definitely going to be upset.
Well, why that, Hector? Can't they do anything else? I've always said, like, you got to quell the situation. An inmate can headbutt you. They have inmate manufactured handcuff keys that they make out of the inhalers. I just gave up some game there. Well, once the dude got slammed, the Southsiders seen that. They took that as they just dumped one of the homies. Everybody up. Boom. Woof. That's what that looks like. A sea of blue, man. It's horrible.
Now, it's definitely got to be a scary situation for the COs, right? So let's keep in mind, like he said, they're running yards. So there's no telling how many people might be on the yard. You know, Ironwood, I believe, has about 5 buildings, maybe 200 people per building. And for those who have never been to prison, it's only you may have 8 to 10 COs. You know, sometimes they may be walking in groups of 2s, sometimes groups of 3s. So it's not necessarily going to be a whole lot of guards on the yard. And then all they have is they have big old canister of pepper spray, and they have some batons on their side. But like when you're walking on the yard and you know, they say it was up to 200 dudes. So if you have 200 dudes just jump up and rush you, it's definitely something scary.
Scary. But if you don't have that mindset of going to work every day and expecting it to be your last day, shame on you. Shame on you, right? Go get another job before you get killed or you get somebody killed. And even if you're on point, you work out every day, you eat healthy, you train, you read, you're out there getting it. Hey, man, going up against 100 mother... Come on, the odds are not in your favor. You got to fight for as long as it takes to survive to the troops, till the help comes, the reinforcement. It's a scary feeling, man. Hearing Code 3 staff assault on the radio, you know it's go time. For some reason...
Now, definitely, one thing we can say about the Southsiders is, man, their structure, you know, always salute to those dudes, always tip my hat to those dudes, because when you're in prison, right, and especially in the California prison system, things are always about race, you know, race and cliques. So you're going to have the whites run with the whites, the Southern Mexicans run with the Southern Mexicans, the Northern Mexicans run with the Northern Mexicans, the blacks run with the blacks, so on and so forth. It's all about representing where you're from and your respective organization. And the Southsiders' unity is top notch, man. That's one thing, you know, they're going to ride for each other. And so when they see a situation, they all going to respond. And in prison, when you're a part of an organization like that, you definitely have to feel proud that knowing that your homie's going to have your back if the situation occurs. I've seen instances with the brothers where one of them may be having trouble with a CO, and you may have 3 or 4 of his homies step up to the plate and go over there and see what's going on. But to have the whole entire, you know, structure or population ride for you, that's definitely, you know, that's definitely unification.
I heard they were punching officers, kicking officers, and then throwing rocks on them. I don't know, throwing rocks at them. I've never been to Ironwood. I don't know if there's rocks on the floor. I would just think that would look silly, ridiculous. People throwing rocks. I don't know, right? Anyway, it's all bad. They called the helicopters. 2 of the staff members got lifted off for further medical care.
So once again, those prison yards at Ironwood are relatively big. Of course, I wasn't there, but I've been on some of those yards. And so, like I said, when something like this happens, when this is spontaneous, the guards aren't necessarily going to be all together in a strategic place. So whenever they see this situation occurring and they start running to go assist the officers, once the Southsiders decided that they were all going to get involved. Now you got Southsiders running from all different places. So of course, these guards, man, they don't really have no win because they're not together. They're rushing over there. The Southsiders are rushing over there from all angles on the yard to help. So it's definitely an ugly situation, man. I seen something like that happen one time before. I was at North Kern, and it was a Southsider actually getting escorted across the yard. He was handcuffed. And for whatever reason, this dude getting escorted out of the hole, a Southsider, was in bad standings with the rest of the Southsiders. And upon noticing him, they all just rushed him. I mean, every Southsider on the yard was just going over there, rushing him, attacking him, man. And, that's something that's definitely like, mind-boggling to see. And so if you're like black, if you're white, and something like this happens, what do? You just try to get out the way as best you can. So I know it may be some people out there wondering, hey, Chill, have you ever seen anything like this or something similar to this happen with the brothers, man? And no, I haven't. The only thing that I can say that I've heard remotely close to this was a very notorious incident when you had the East Coast Crips run up in the program office and attack the COs, the sergeants, and the lieutenants, and whoever was up in that program office. And they went up in there with knives and stuff. That definitely was a well-known and well-respected demonstration. When I say well-respected, I mean by the rest of the convicts. And when I say convicts, I'm talking all convicts, blacks, whites, Mexicans, Asians, everybody. Because at the end of the day, the number one enemy of all convicts in prison is the administration first. To my understanding, once they got the situation under control, they sent all the East Coast Crips. They moved every last one of them out of that prison, and they sent them to the hole, I believe, in Corcoran. They later on was beat up, brutalized, savagely attacked by the guards, and they ended up winning a lawsuit years later down the line. But anyway, it's serious up in those prisons, And like I said, the Southsiders are an extremely unified, deadly, organized structure, and they definitely don't play any games, whether it's other organizations inside prison or the prison staff. When they feel disrespected, they gonna handle their business. Anyway, you already know what it is. It's your boy 16 to Life. Resume normal program.
Pride, bust the strap ASAP and call that a quick slide. You ain't gotta be potato boy to get your